information like it's gospel. They won't listen to our own intelligence. They won't listen to our own military because they hate our own military. They hate our country, and they're on the side of Iran in this. I mean, I don't know that there's any other conclusion you could come to watching this. She just badgers him over this, and he just keeps saying there's no evidence at all that we have struck schools or hospitals.
We can corroborate that. No indication of that whatsoever, Senator.
There's no way you can corroborate or no indication of it? Which one?
No indication.
It's springtime in New England, so naturally it's 70 today and basically winter tomorrow. Skip the weather drama.
Well, gotcha. Is there a way or is there a method? Like, what? Just go away, lady. These people are worse than worthless. They are a threat to our country, and they get voted in by our countrymen. And obviously it's my opinion on the matter, but I get pretty fired up when I see them treating a guy like General Cooper in such a disrespectful way. You don't disrespect a guy that has sacrificed what he has sacrificed for this country.
Yep.
Now this is Aragachi, the foreign minister of Iran, talking about, well, we're not negotiating with America because we can't trust America.
Against any sanction. For more than 40 years, my country has been the target of, our people actually have been the target of brutal sanctions imposed by the United States against us. But it didn't change our determination. It didn't change our policies. Iranian people only answer to the language of respect, as we did in the past. Anytime they approached us with the language of respect, offered diplomacy, offered negotiation, we have reciprocated the same language, and we have answered positively to any diplomatic solution. Now, after 40 days of war, when the US became hopeless, of
Became hopeless.
letting go in their aggression against Iran, they offered negotiation. We are interested in negotiation, but only if the other side is serious and is in line of real negotiations. We have no trust to Americans. This is a fact, and this is the main obstacle in the way of any diplomatic effort. I think all of you know that we have every reason not to trust Americans, while they have no reason not to trust us.
Yeah, we have no reason not to trust Iran. I mean, they're so reasonable. Those Iranians, so reasonable. And you notice what he's saying in there. He's really making it clear we have no intention of negotiating with the United States in good faith. Now he's saying, oh, we're interested in negotiations. Yeah, they are, in order to try to run out the clock and to try to increase the pressure politically on President Trump back home. But they're not at all interested in coming to a negotiated solution that doesn't include the United States surrendering, losing. They are doubling and tripling down on their demands that the United States and the world at large recognize Iranian sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. He went on to talk about that, the same speech here. This is what he said.
On the Strait of Hormuz, this is also our wish that it will be fully reopened. As far as we are concerned, the Strait of Hormuz is open and all vessels can pass except the vessels belong to those countries who are in war with us, who are fighting with us.
Which is very interesting because they actually struck a Chinese ship, and yesterday they took over another Chinese ship that was full of weapons. weapons. They called it an armory ship. There's a bunch of Chinese projects around the Middle East. We showed you one in Kuwait the other day where they were building like a dock on an island in Kuwait. And there's lots of infrastructure projects. And one of the things China does, with this Belt and Road Initiative, as they go around the world and try to build this kind of infrastructure, is they build it only with Chinese labor. They won't hire local labor at all. They bring in Chinese people, and this is a boost to the Chinese economy. But they also bring in Chinese security. And so they had a ship off the coast of the UAE that was full of weapons for the private security for all of these construction projects. And the Iranians took over that ship yesterday, kidnapped it, and brought it back to the port in Iran. So he's saying, oh yeah, it's open, no problem. Yeah, no problem as long as they're not our enemy. Well, why are they now taking over Chinese ships and striking Chinese ships? Part of it is because President Xi made a statement in the negotiations with President Trump over the last couple days that was not positive. Like, we would really like to see the Strait of Hormuz opened up and completely free for travel as it was before, without Iran being in control of it. And that really angered Iran, so they're now kind of taking it out on the Chinese, which is interesting. And I don't know how that'll end for Iran, probably not well. But President Trump is saying, yeah, we're probably going to have to go back to do a little cleanup, he said. He was asked on the Hannity about getting the uranium, and I want to play this for you after. Well, I want to finish Aragachi though, so let's
Those vessels who want to pass should obviously coordinate with our military.
Yeah, see?
Because of the, mines and obstacles which exist. So we will guide.
So he's saying that there are mines out there. There is no indication that there are actually any mines in the Strait of Hormuz. They've not found one. They've done lots of mine sweeping through there. They've not found a single one. And this points out what I have said before, that Iran doesn't actually need mines to threaten the Strait of Hormuz. They just need to claim they have them, claim that they released them, and then the whole strait has to be cleared of mines. And once we clear it, then they'll say, okay, now we put out some more. And then we have to clear it again. I mean, no insurance company is going to risk blowing up $1 billion ship if there's even the threat of mines out there. And so we can sink their entire Navy, we can sink all their fast boats, we can sink, we can blow up all their airplanes and helicopters and everything, and it doesn't matter. They can still threaten the Strait of Hormuz. And so the only thing that will actually open the Strait of Hormuz is not a negotiated settlement, because the only negotiations that Iran is going to agree to are negotiations that would allow them to control the Strait of Hormuz going forward. And that's a non-starter for everybody else. So that's not going to be the way to do it. The only way to do it is to get rid of the regime, and that's going to be a much bigger operation. Now, I'm going to finish with Aragachi here, and we'll go to President Trump talking to Sean Hannity. No, I'm going to go to get it. It's a big project.
Do you feel there's
Well, I
people
think the
that
ones
have,
that
and generals that I've spoken
there's a lot,
to, that think you have to get the dust, which is the enriched uranium, or have you been told there may be a way to entomb it,
being
that they
loyal.
can never get to
Everyone's
it?
not
So
gonna
We
get
were
them.
thinking about doing it early on.
Skid around and out.
And
about getting it.
It would take a while. It would take a week and a half. That's a long time
Wow.
to be in enemy territory. No, you're going to move these massive amounts of granite. It's a granite. Granite's the hardest stone. It's amazing that it's those were really powerful bombs that we used. And don't forget, we hit it on top of that. We hit tomahawks on top of that. No, I don't think it's necessary, except from a public relations standpoint. I think it's important for the fake news that we get it. I'm the one that said we're going to get it, and we're going to get it. We have our eye on it. So Space Force was my creation. I did that in my first term. It's going to end up going down as one of the most important of all of our military.
But
So it's heavy entombed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can be.
of course I
It
love
can
the
be, but
design.
I'd
That
rather
was
get
awesome.
it, to be honest with you. It can be, a lot of things can happen, but, and
Yeah.
even despite the statement that, they can't get it, they are, first of all, if we left right now, it would take around 25 years to rebuild, and it can never be like it was. It would take 25 years. I would rather get it.
Especially, considering
we have
so
our
many
eyes open. We know
requirements
exactly what's happening
and
there.
limitations.
The other day, there was a man that
It's amazing.
tried to get into the chute. We saw that there was a door that was blown to smithereens. And we know everything that's happening. If they ever moved on, and I told them that if they send a force over there to try where somebody's trying, all we'll do is just hit it with a couple of bombs, and that's going to be the end of that. They won't do it. I said, we have 9 cameras on that site, on those 3 sites, 24 hours a day. We know exactly what's happening. Nobody's even gotten close to it. They looked at it at the beginning and they said, there's no way that anybody can ever get down to the nuclear dust.
So very interesting statements from President Trump there. If we take him, at face value, he's giving away numbers that he probably shouldn't be giving away. But you're saying we have 9 cameras watching all of these sites. He's talking about Pickaxe Mountain there, where they believe the enriched uranium is being held. But he's also saying, we were considering a ground operation to get that, but we figured out it would take us a week and a half on the ground to do so. Now that comports with what I have said before about the scale of a mission to actually get in there and dig out Pickaxe Mountain and get the enriched uranium. We would have to basically set up a U.S. military base right near the mountain and then protect it while we sent earth-moving equipment out there to dig the thing out, and we'd have to protect it from drones and artillery and missiles and anything, maybe ground assault. And it's not that we couldn't do that. We totally can do it. We have the capability in the region right now to do that. But it's just a matter of whether or not we want to put that many boots on the ground and put U.S. troops at risk in that way. You can bet that it's going to be a hard fight if that happens, and we probably will take some losses if they do end up going in there. But the whole conversation was about, do they really need to get it, or can they just leave it under there because it's buried? And President Trump says, no, we can probably leave it, but we have to get it as a public relations thing. And I mean, I don't know about that, but I'm not sure I would agree that we could just leave it there either, because they would eventually dig it out and get to it. So unless we were willing to just keep bombing them and keep bombing them and keep bombing them, nonstop forever, we're going to have to end that threat by going and getting it. And so it just remains to be seen whether or not President Trump has the gumption to do it. So he was asked about that, and his answer was a little non-committal, if you ask me. He just talked about, well, we got to do some cleanup.
We wiped out their armed forces, essentially. We may have to do a little cleanup work because we had a little month-long ceasefire, I guess you'd call it. But we have a blockade that's so effective. That's why we did the ceasefire. We really did the ceasefire at the request of other nations. I wouldn't have really been in favor of it, but we did it as a favor to Pakistan, who are terrific people, the Field Marshal, the Prime Minister.
All right, so that's President Trump. He's saying, they had a ceasefire and they were able to reconstitute, and we're going to have to probably go in and clean up. So I still would expect that we will see more kinetic operations against Iran before this thing is over. Right now, it's not over, and President Trump knows it. And until we do what is necessary to open the Strait of Hormuz, which is take out the IRGC, America will not will not have won this war. Okay, we've got to do it. Okay, so let's get over to our questions real quick. First question. Okay, I already did all that. There were a couple of fist fights between, not fist fights, but very tense moments between the Secret Service and the Chinese security over the Secret Service agents carrying weapons. And it's like, guess what? You're not taking our weapon. we are going to protect our president with weapons, and you're not taking them away. So they're they were hassling our security. They were hassling our journalists. They tried to get our journalists left behind. They wouldn't let them get back in their cars with the presidential motorcade when the president left. And so they were going to all get left behind. And they were just doing stuff to annoy and sort of, be passive aggressive against the United States when we were there. And that's par for the course for China. They had to issue burner phones to every single American that went over there in that, including Elon Musk and all of the CEOs and everything, had to take away their phones, give them a government-issued burner phone that's completely white, and tell them, do not plug this into anything other than this charger we're giving you, and do not plug it into any USB port anywhere, because they will hack everything in there. There was some massive espionage going on. President Trump was asked about that, and he said, yeah, they were committing espionage against us, but we do that to them too, and everybody does it against everybody. So he kind of blew it off, but it is serious, and it just shows they're not our friend. They've tried to put on a friendly face. President Trump, to make President Trump feel good by stroking his ego and all that, but they're not our friend, not at all. Next. Is it true that Europe is gearing up to go to war with Russia? Scott Ritter, your favorite, is saying that the decision has already been made. Yeah, they are gearing up for it. They are planning. They believe that Russia, in its, kind of like a cornered animal, will lash out at Europe, because so much of the material and training and everything that Ukraine is using against Russia is not in Ukraine now. It's in Poland, it's in Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, wherever, all these NATO countries, and they're all supporting Ukraine against Russia. And so Russia feels like is threatening to expand the war against NATO allies. That would be a huge mistake on Russia's part. I kind of wish they would, because then the war would get over a lot quicker and Russia would lose badly. And so Scott Ritter's a dolt. He's a moron. He says things that he'll take a true statement and then turn it into, and extrapolate it into something that is so out of touch with reality that you just wonder what planet he's on. What a moron that guy. Okay, next. Any updates on the CIA Mexican military operation in Mexico? Go watch the video I did yesterday about that. I did a whole live about it yesterday. Next. They used Black Eagles and Vipers last night to decimate air holes of supply caves. Footage showed drones and fast boats being blown away by stealth moves by U.S. and British naval radar. I'm not really sure what you're talking about there. We were not involved in any kinetic activity yesterday that I know of, other than against some cartel boats in the Caribbean. Next. Steve, didn't Ukraine take over a village or town using only those armed robots? They have pushed, what's the name of that village? I saw something on that. They used a lot of automated and remotely piloted.
At Darling's Chrysler Dodge Ram in Augusta, the Declaration of Deal sales event is on. Get 2.9% APR for 72 months, plus $9,000 off a 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn. Or lease a 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie, $599 a month, $45.98 due at signing. Don't wait, hurry in and save thousands on a new Ram at Darling's.
They're probably coming from Russia. The drones that China is using is that Iran is using are most likely from Russia, not from China. But China does provide material that then Iranians can use to build missiles and drones and things like that. Computer chips, rocket propellant, stuff like that. Next. Don't you think Trump is going to China showed more weakness than anything Biden never did, begging China for help? Well, he wasn't begging China for help, and that's one thing that he said. I don't think I have that quote, but President Trump was asked about that, and he just said, I'm not asking them for any favors. I'm not, he said, did you ask China to tell Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz? And President Trump said, I'm not asking China for any favors, because when you ask for favors, then you have to give favors in return. And that's a very wise statement. And he's right. He's like, we don't need China's help. We can open the Strait of Hormuz. All right, well, let's see you do it. Please, please, I believe you, President Trump. I believe you. Please do it. Do it. Open it up. Next. If the IRGC or IRI were to dissolve, would Aragachi ever return to Iran? That's a valid question. I don't know. I came in late. Did Chuck mention about the arms trade slowdown decision with Taiwan? Trump spoke up. Yeah, there was some talk about Taiwan. This is what President Trump said about Taiwan right here.
Best defend Taiwan if it came to it. I don't want to say that. I'm not going to say that. There's only one person that knows that. You know who it is? Me. I'm the only person. That question was asked to me today by President Xi, who said, I don't talk about those issues. He asked you if you would send troops. He asked me if I defend them. I said, I don't talk about them. You tell him that.
So President Trump refused to answer. That was the kind of, a lot of people are saying, well, that was President Trump saying he wouldn't defend Taiwan. No, he was just saying, I won't say whether or not because that would have been a red line for China. If Trump had stood up to Xi and said, you touch Taiwan and you're going to war with us, that would have been the end of the trip right there. So President Trump was trying to be diplomatic. I don't know if that was a great idea or not, but he was trying, and I would give him credit for that. Next. Could it be that China allowed that ship to be taken? No, China doesn't have any forces in the region. So whether or not they allowed, they were okay with it. Iran took it and stole it, took it back to Iran. Next. So hit the like and subscribe buttons if we like the content. Of course, that helps the channel. Yes, please. Please hit the like and subscribe button as every day that you watch this show. It certainly helps the algorithm. Tells YouTube to show it to more people. Next. Is it true that oil fields in the U.S. are blowing up due to higher? No, they're not blowing up. I mean, they are putting out more oil than they ever have before. We've exported more oil, a record amount of oil, but they're not blowing up the wells or anything. Maybe you're just being, maybe that's a semantic thing. You know, it's blowing up as in they're very busy. You know, that kind of thing. What choice did President Trump have? Iran was rapidly acquiring additional ballistic missiles and drones. If we didn't stop him, who would? Yeah, that's the case that's being made by everybody in the administration, and I completely agree with it. Next. Should the Arab countries put their boots on the ground? I think the Arab countries should step up. I think we'll have to wait to see whether or not President Trump wants that to happen. The only difficulty with that, Sebastian, is the coordination between various forces. How do you deconflict so you're not shooting at each other? That's the difficult part. Okay, next. Does anyone know why the U.S. wants to pull forces out of Europe? Well, President Trump is under the mistaken impression that the reason U.S. forces are in Europe is to protect Europe. That's not true. The reason U.S. forces are in Europe is to protect America and to enable American military to extend or to project power into the rest of the globe and to keep the threats to America away from America as far as possible. That's the reason we need bases in Europe. And we're not just, parking our people there just to protect Germany or something. That's a incredibly simplistic view of what's going on. It's not correct. And it's damaging to American national security if we do pull troops out of there. Now, President Trump pulled 5,000 troops out of Germany. That was symbolic. We had already built up forces because of the war in Ukraine there, so it's not that big a deal. But we still have forces there. I mean, my son-in-law is over there right now, deployed in support of the Ukrainian crisis. So there you go. All right, that's all I've got for today, folks. I do want to actually mention one thing to you. About a year ago, I went and got a stem cell treatment here in the United States that really helped my back and it helped my eyesight. It made me sexier. I mean, I was pretty impressed with just 2 cc's of umbilical cord stem cells injected in my veins, what effect that had on my body. So I've recommended it to people on this show before, and we've had probably 50 people from the hot zone.
You gotta throw it in there. Gotta keep things running. What's that? Oh, it's suggested. Jesus. Dear Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I'm excited for bottomless apps for $9.99?
Why, Hank?
Finally have a reason to wear my bottomless chaps. Whoa!
You've been squatting. You've been doing squats.
Yes, I have been. Thank you. Bottomless apps for $9.99.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, obviously, he probably has a rich audience, considering, you know. So, yeah, people were talking about that. Like, what is it with people suggesting that? It's very expensive, and the risk of infection. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I mean, the risk of infection used to be greater, you know, back in the day before it got a little more fine-tuned and regulated. Legal, you know, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was frowned upon for a while. Remember Norm Macdonald? Yeah, they tricked him. They told him he was sick with some disease and that he needed stem cells. Right, some say, oh, they were just saying that because he wanted to get it, because he thought it would make him live longer. And so they say, oh, they think that, so say I'm sick and that I need it for that. Whatever, you know, it really doesn't matter, does it? Just the point that all that goes on, a lot of money and funding, and then rich people paying money because they think it's either going to save them from some infectious disease or help them live longer. I mean, the actual chemical process and what's happening when you have stem cells injected, I mean, yeah, sure, that can help your health, cells, skin. But you don't have to get a stem cell injection. There's way safer ways to do that, cheaper. Yeah. So yeah, no, not something I would do or support at all. Not at all. So anyways, yeah, remember he died. They told him he was sick and he had to do the stem cell therapy under an alias. Right, because people frowned upon it, and then he died. Okay, so anyway, yeah, look at the last year of his life. It's horrible. He blew up. He died. Stem cell injections carry notable infections risks, including bacterial contamination and abscesses. You know, he might agree with that. That might be why he even advertised for it. Maybe he didn't even really have them injected. He's just saying that. Or he did, because they probably paid him a lot of money to do it, really. I mean, if you're a healthy person, you can handle it. Risk of infection, I mean, if you're a healthy person, you know, within 72 hours, you can probably get most of that out. Right, but I mean, if you're sick and then you get... Right, so anyways, yeah, pretty expensive. It can range from $2,000 to $10,000, and that's just for a simple localized joint injection. Over $20,000, $20,000 and not for systematic or complex conditions. Most insurance plans do not cover these treatments. No, don't do it. Don't do it. No, you know what? Some people, you know, they really think they're going to miss out on some kind of miracle. It's umbilical cord. What are you doing? You're fucking stupid. But anyways, yeah, no, the risk of injection is very high. That's probably what happened to Norm, huh? But, you know, that's the risk they take, and they knew that. And he was doing it under an alias, so no harm, no foul. Oh, motherfucker. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people in this world that are very aware. My name's Mary. We're at the Governor Hill Mansion in Augusta, Maine, and I have 4 children here, and my youngest 2 are in the hands of sick, murderous pedophiles that feed the child and animal pornography to a lot of sick activist groups who actually fund a lot of this bullshit. Stem cells, Botox, SSRIs, vaccines, all that shit they don't want to talk about that a lot of other people who get funded by those fucking psychos can't say. No. Let's rumble it out. Gets fucking old, people. Grow the fuck up. So, yes, risks of infection come from improper sterility. Most common infection risks comes from a breakdown in sterile technique during cell preparation or injection, which can lead to bacterial injections and abscesses at the injection site. So this can be why it can be dangerous to promote that, because they're saying, right, look at me, I got it, I feel better, younger, sexier, right? It's like Botox, huh? Help your wrinkles. And then when people start to see over time that, no, it's really not, and you got to keep getting the injections, or you get really, 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 what'd you do? Fucking stupid, huh? Right, so now they're promoting Botox more so for migraines. Other things. Now it's stem cells. Forget the Botox. Get stem cells, it's the umbilical cord right from the baby's lifeline. I mean, you people need fucking help, for real. Wow. Anyways, I'm not saying, when you look at what do you need to do, whatever a stem cell injection is doing, yeah, you can eat and change your diet, drink certain things. They say sometimes your state of mind. Right, see, that doesn't mean that just because if you get sad and cry, oh, you must not be healed. It's like, no, like, that's normal. I like to cry. I like to get angry. I like to laugh. Sometimes the things I get angry about, I don't like. Right, because if you get angry, it should be for a good reason, right? Yeah, so if I get angry, it's usually the thing I'm angry about that I don't like, not the fact that I'm capable of being angry, because I like to be able to do that for fun too, for improv in class, so they can understand certain environmental factors. And yeah, it's healthy expression too, it's fun. So yeah, and then what happens is people will say, oh yeah, that stem cells, I've heard really good stuff, I want to get it. They can't afford that, so then that opens up the doors for all these fucking criminals that do go around with their little briefcases, just like they did with the fucking Botox and those traveling bands with the fucking jewelry sellers, the ghost and alien hunters, Tupperware vacuum sellers, vitamins. Get the fuck out of here, market America. Right, so you get the little friends going around with the freaking briefcases of Botox, people getting sick, trying to get some cheap fucking Botox. Are you fucking stupid? The fuck is wrong with you sick fucks? Right, so now they're going to do the same thing with the stem cells. So if someone comes around with a briefcase and they can get you a good deal on some of that stem cells, it'll make you look all sexy. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it, dude. Anyways, unregulated. Go ahead, you can if you want. I'm just giving you some friendly advice. Or you can call it slimy. It doesn't matter. Just whatever. You're fucking stupid. Facts are the facts. Unregulated clinics, unapproved stem cell banks can provide compromised products. Bacterial and fungal contaminations can cause serious systematic issues. They were bringing this up back then, and instead of acknowledging the issues, they spiked a bunch of shit and threw out more things they make billions of dollars off of. Right, like the hepatitis B shot, the vitamin K shot, people were freaking out about, going to cause blood clots, the Lyme disease bioweapons. Nobody wants to talk about it. They act like it's conspiracy. I don't know. People are fucking retarded. It blows our fucking minds how fucking stupid and ignorant people have been to this for so many years. Excuse my French. Other associated risks. While rare, injections near the spine or joints can also cause nerve damage, bleeding, or blood clots. Well, you know, that gentleman that had it done, I mean, he's been in the military for how many years or has worked within different branches? I don't really know. I don't dig too much into people. I'll listen if it's a goddamn snowman standing there talking. If it sounds like it's something I want to listen to, I'll listen to it. But anyways, yeah, it's a nice, strong guy, muscles. So, yeah, I mean, and I'm sure the doctors know that. So the ones that you're going to pay a lot of money, they're not going to inject people that they don't think can take it. They're usually not going to get clientele that can't take it, huh? Right, exactly. It's not even going to be, it's not going to make it to the office. Right. So, those at risk are the ones that are going to be getting it peddled to them from all these little briefcase stick fucks. It's already happened. It's already been done. And a lot of infections and people have died from it. No joke. The Botox and the stem cells. So, yeah, they probably know that. And they probably knew I was going to watch that show. And they can't say it. Because... God damn it. Hi, my name's Mary. We're at the Governor Hill Mansion in Augusta, Maine. I have 4 children here, and my youngest 2 are in the hands of sick, murderous pedophiles. They make child and animal pornography and abuse, microchips and everything. It's very cool. Yeah, so anyways, it's been a huge issue, and we'd like to expose the producers and help our poor children who can't talk and tell you the abuse they're going through because they were vaccine injured in 2013. And the reason they were vaccine injured? There's multiple factors. One, they were vaccinated behind my back, which I would not have vaccinated them, and people around here were freaking out as though, yeah, I was going to kill people and bring back measles. Absolutely insane. And so, yeah, the sick fuck dad knew this, and they play into their fears. That's what we tell you with a lot of things. As you can see, they love their fucking childish beliefs with ghosts and got to teach us bullies and Nazis a lesson, non-vaxxers. You people are fucking psycho. 1, 2, 3, you 3 fucking motherfuckers. The fraud you've been doing here in Augusta, Maine, I'd pack your shit and get the fuck out. Sell your businesses, dude. For real. Are you fucking kidding me? Right. Anyways, proper authorities need to report on what's going on here and how they feed that shit out to these activist groups and investigators. It's confused and crossed a lot of wires over the years, and we're doing the best we can to bring clarity and understanding to that. Do you have any suggestions without breaking the law as to how we can address and report to these issues? Ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that special? All right. Much love, everybody. You take care. We're going to go make some fucking pea soup. It's 12:11. 1, 2, 1, 1.